Men and women are not the same. I feel like a lot of people like to get that confused and say that they are, but men and women are not the same. As a man gets older, his sexual market value increases. As a woman gets older, her sexual market value decreases. If you look up at what age are men the most attractive to women, it's a 30-year-old. That's why if you're a guy and you're in your 30s, you're in your prime. You have the most options and the most access right now. And if you were working on yourself when you were younger in your 20s, this is when you get to reap in your rewards and just do what you want. And the women that are in their 30s, the biological clock is ticking. So now they're ready to settle down. They're what Roll Tomassi likes to call in their epiphany phase, where they realize that their clock is ticking. They don't have much time, and like I said, they're done messing around. They're done sleeping around. They're done kissing all the toes. Now they're ready to find their Prince Charming or their prince. Now they're ready to settle down. And now that you just got the peak sexual market value, now that means you get to pretty much do what women in their 20s get to do. And that's pretty much be the most valuable in your sexual marketplace. Women are the most attractive between the age of 18 to 24, if you look it up statistically. And men are the most attractive when they're in their 30s. And so that's why we always encourage men to, if you're in your 20s now, get your shit together. If you're in your 30s, right now is your prime. So you can still get your shit together and reaping the benefits. And if you're in your 40s or above, I mean, the main thing is that you still get to produce sperm. So that means it's never too late for a man. As a man, you produce sperm your whole life. So that means at any age throughout your life, yes, you might produce less sperm, but you will always produce it. And that means you can have kids at any time. Women are not like that. And so even if you're in your 40s, even if you're in your 50s, there's still a chance. 50s, 40s, 30s, you know what I'm saying? 20s, relax. But at the end of the day, it's like women have a biological clock and men don't necessarily. Okay, so that is where your value comes in. When a woman is in her 20s, every guy wants her. She has all these options. That's why she's most likely not going to date a guy within her age. She's going to date somebody older and somebody that makes more money or whatever, more mature, whatever she might say. But as she get older, that decreases, that changes. And so if you're in your 30s, just know you're at your peak. And if a woman is in her 30s, just know that if she's trying to settle down or she's trying to have kids, whatever, just know it's because she knows that her biological clock is ticking and she knows that it's time to either settle down, because the older she gets, the less likely she is to settle down. And the less likely she is to settle down, the less likely she is to have kids. So if you're in your 30s, like I said, you're in your prime. This is the time where you have the time of your life. This is where you reap your rewards. And if you're in your 20s, get your shit together. Why? Because when you're in your 30s, you're gonna be grateful. You're gonna thank yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we always talk about self-improvement. That's why we talk about, oh, you have to work on yourself first, then the girls come. Because if you work on yourself, by the time you hit 30, even if you have no girls while you're in your 20s, it's going to be almost impossible not to have any when you're in your 30s. Why? Because you have access to younger women and you have access to older women. Women from in the late mid to late 20s are into guys in their 30s, and the women who are older are also into guys in their 30s. So you have literally way more access than anybody else. And as a woman gets older, like I said, her sexual market value decreases. Why? Because guys want younger women. And so not only could you have the women your age, you can have older women, and you can also have younger women. And I mean, I don't know about you, but you might as well take advantage of the advantage that you got, even if it's for the moment. Because as you get older, you know what I'm saying, it's whatever. But while you still got it, you might as well take advantage. And if you're a woman, that just means, I'm not saying get married when you're young or 22 or 21 or whatever. It just means just know that, yes, that biological clock is there. And yes, the guys are in their prime when they're 30 or getting close to 30. And it just depends on what you want. If you want kids, you might want to catch a guy before he hits 30, before he hits his prime, while you're technically not out of your prime and he's not out of his prime. So y'all might get together. Or you're just gonna have to wait and risk it and might not have kids. And if you don't want kids, then okay, so well. You know what I'm saying? If you do want kids, then you know what you gotta do. And for my men out there, like I say, you're in your prime.